Hello, I'm Yoshi, and I'm here to tell you all about a bunch of things you almost definitely never knew about TTYD. Uh, this isn't gonna be your run-of-the-mill, like, beta content from TTYD video, and I also don't make videos, so this is gonna be of very mediocre quality. Sorry, I made this video in literally one day. If you knew more than like 2 or 3 of these fun facts, you're either a developer, a speedrunner, or a liar. Pretty simple and silly one to start us off, blowing away the bushes in Petal Meadows. The event functionality for Flurry's field ability is present in this one specific room of Petal Meadows. Turns out you can blow some of these bushes away. There's no reason for it that we know of, probably just leftovers from early testing. And yeah, that first bush does contain a star piece. The bushes come back if you leave and re-enter the room, so you can't permanently miss it. Oh, and also it's worth noting that only some of these bushes can be blown away, it's not all of them. And it's only in this room. Next, we have hammering to locate floor panels. I recently made a post talking about how the TTYD remake added the ability to hammer in the field to make floor panels pop up. Similar to when you spin jump in the vicinity of one, you know how it like pops out of the ground but it doesn't like completely flip over and give you the star piece? So yeah, this is not behavior that is present in the original game, which a lot of people were pretty shocked by. I had to actually include proof of the Ultra Hammer not being able to flip the panels. I guess a lot of people mixed it up with Paper Mario on the N64 since you actually could do that in that game. So you may be wondering, why am I talking about this then? Well, it's because I just lied to you. Kinda. You see, it's actually possible to locate floor panels with your hammer, any hammer, but it only works when you're beneath the ground. In other words, not something you can really achieve in regular casual gameplay, aside from 2 very, very specific spots. One of those spots is this room in the Great Tree. When you have this panel lowered with the punies, you can actually wedge into the floor a little, and therefore hammer below the ground. There just happens to be a floor panel nearby, so you can witness this rare behavior all by yourself. By the way, the other spot we know of is this one in the underground city in Rogueport, if you're in the teleporter room with the environment unloaded. Speaking of behavior in the original TTYD that we're seeing fixed for the remake, how about opening doors while riding Yoshi? Because, yep, that was something that was actually half implemented in the original game. They probably either ran out of time to get it fully working or forgot about it or something. It'd be a pretty great quality of life feature to include. I hope that they actually do it. Next, we have a couch that was mysteriously placed far below this room in Twilight Town. I'm guessing that this was supposed to go next to the table in the room, but they put in the wrong coordinate for the height of the object. I hope that they keep it there in the remake and like add a little rug or something down there too. It'd be interesting to see if this couch actually does get fixed back to its assumedly correct position. Next is one I can almost guarantee you won't know unless you're a part of the speedrunning community, and even then it's super obscure. Back in 2018, PistonMiner and Zephiles discovered an oddity regarding the ticking timer that usually plays during the escape sequence at the end of Chapter 2. It turns out that it's almost certain the developers were originally planning to have a similar escape for the end of Chapter 7, as, and I quote, "If you reload a file with this timer enabled, then it sets a value at a specific address that is checked upon loading a file. The function that checks this value checks if the sequence is 352 or greater, basically, during Chapter 7, and plays the alarm if true. If false, it plays the ticking sound instead, which is what you hear during the Great Tree escape. The alarm sounds like this. It's fascinating that such a sequence was more than likely planned. I wonder if they'll revisit the idea during the remake. This next one is super simple. There's an almost fully functional crawl follower in the game. He doesn't have a jumping animation, but everything else works exactly as you'd expect, just like with Flavio, Punio, the egg, etc. Next, a short clip that our incredible resident TTYD battle expert, JDA asked to be included. I'll be quoting them pretty verbatim so I don't get anything wrong though. Using Love Slap on an enemy, or Mario with payback status, or just return postage, causes some strange behavior. It's worth noting that this only happens at base rank because it's dependent on the direction Mouse is facing when the counter detection applies. So yeah, I don't know what the hell that is, but please check out JDS's channel because it's full of stuff exactly like this and they truly know absolutely everything about battles in TTYD. It blows my mind. So let's see another one they talked about. Originally documented by the user TriplePainP, it was found that Pokies and Poison Pokies harbor a special hidden property, being able to be swallowed by Yoshi when he uses Gulp. This can only happen in vanilla gameplay if the enemy only has its single head segment left on the field, and even then, this only happens 50% of the time. You can go and try it out for yourself. I know I'll be trying it in the remake as well. Additionally, there are actually a ton of unused conditions for the Glitz Pit. You know, the conditions you have to meet while fighting to rank up. Which one is your favorite? Do you think any of them should have made it in, or did we have enough already? Next, we have something that will be rather lengthy to explain. During Chapter 8, in the final boss gauntlet, Bowser falls through the floor on top of Grotus. But did you know that Bowser actually creates a real hole in the game's world? In the room where you fight Gloomtail, there's a hidden area that you can access with Bobbery, which has a Jam and Jelly and an Ultra Shroom. You're welcome, by the way. This room is usually inaccessible after lowering the stairs from within the Riddle Tower, but if you use cheats or glitches to re-enter this room after fighting Shadow Queen, more on why later, you can actually see that Bowser fell through this exact room. This hole only appears after the Bowser fight. As a bonus fun fact, it is of course possible to re-enter Gloomtail's room after beating Bowser, instead of after Shadow Queen, using the same method of choice as before. But you actually get warped straight to right before the Shadow Queen fight, since Gloomtail's room is used in one of the cutscenes there. In the story, Frankly is stuck here, apparently stuffed in here by the Shadow Sirens. Additionally, if you do palette skip and never beat Gloomtail, he doesn't go away for the cutscene. If you want to learn more, this footage is actually from Malio's video talking about Gloomtail Warp, which is what this is. I'll have it linked in the description. Want to see a silly mistake that may have actually been shown to be present in the remake? While on the Excess Express, Chef Shimi talks about how his galley pot was stolen. However, if you walk into the shop on the left, then walk back over to the kitchen, the galley pot will magically be exactly where it's supposed to be. Thanks to the user Arantula for being the first person to point this discrepancy out. Interestingly, in the announcement trailer for the remake, the galley pot is shown in the cutscene even though it shouldn't be there. Does this mean that this bug is still a thing? Back in 2020, PistonMiner found what is probably the most bizarre thing ever in this game. I'm gonna quote exactly what they said at the time regarding this creature. This is Pennington, from Kazuhiro Temuro's personal test battle. It has 1 or less HP, and when it dies, a new one respawns and gives a randomized message, one of which Google Translate translated as, "This is fucked up." It attacks by walking up to you and biting you, and I'm really not quite sure what to make of this. And neither am I. Next is yet another extremely strange thing that PistonMiner discovered. If Mario is in a specific state, which unfortunately may not be possible to achieve without cheats, and you plug in another controller into the third port, specifically the third port, you can move the C-stick on that controller up and down to rotate Mario like this. Piston theorized it's just something left over from debugging. This next one may be something you actually did know about. If a badge is dropped by an enemy after a battle and isn't picked up by Mario, it will despawn and actually get sent to the lovely house of badges in Rogueport as a purchasable badge. I forced a badge drop in this clip using our practice codes, but you can see it all in action right here. I wanted to mainly include like weird oddities and not go too heavy in the glitches and exploits department, but I absolutely have to show off my favorite glitch and subsequent crash in this game, originally discovered by the user Seafawn. If an audience member throws something at your partner while they're at 1 HP and this specific menu is up on screen, it turns into a Persona game. Unfortunately, this is pretty much guaranteed to always crash, but these menus can completely whack out in a lot of different ways, and these are just a couple of them. Next, we have an oddity regarding the Dupless fights in Chapter 4. At this point in the game, you're ambushed by him and are sent into a battle since you can't correctly guess his name. During this fight, neither of you are supposed to be able to damage each other, and Dupless is straight up invincible. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply to Mario. Dupless is set to deal 0 base damage instead. So, what if we equipped a badge that lowers Mario's defense? Yup, you can now take damage in this fight. Equipping P up, D down also allows you to actually be damaged by the fog stage hazard, as if it wasn't already annoying enough. Thanks for watching, but mostly thanks to all my friends in the TTYD speedrunning community, since they're the ones who find all of this crazy stuff. Make sure to check out the videos and channels in the description if you're hungry for more obscure TTYD content that isn't just pulling unused textures from the cutting room floor. Follow me on Twitter if you want as well, I don't shut up about this game. Also, I'll be streaming my blind, I guess, playthrough of the TTYD remake on my Twitch channel, Yoshi. If you are quite familiar with TTYD and want to learn more weird stuff about the original while I play, I'm sure it'll be a fun time. Also, you can flutter to this tube mode loading zone in the creepy steeple. Bye!